Good day and welcome to this Focus On with me, Theo Baloyi. From the streets in Alexandra to one of the most populous cities in the United Arab Emirates, my guest today made his journey with a pair of shoes that tells the African story the best way he knows how. Featured in the Forbes Under 30 list in 2019 and an All Africa Business Leaders Awards laureate, Theo Baloyi, founder and CEO of Bathu Shoes, joins me today to walk us through his success. Theo, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
I just want to take a step back. You were in a corporate environment.
Yeah.
You decided to leave all of that to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Why?
I think more than anything else, it is because where I come from. You know, I am a product of opportunity, and throughout my journey, I've been awarded great opportunities, right? And an opportunity to, I'm an accountant by profession, an opportunity to further my studies in accounting, to work for one of the top 4 accounting firms, not only in South Africa, but as you've mentioned, also in the UAE. And all throughout my journey, whenever I went back to my mentors and the people that have awarded me opportunities to sort of express a sense of gratitude, you know, that was always met by one big ask, that Theo, we don't want anything from you, you know, just pay it forward in your own way. And that's why I actually started Bathu, you know, to create opportunities for others and to be of service to my community.
Now, of all opportunities that's out there,
Yeah.
you chose shoes. Why?
Yeah, I know, because a lot of people would assume or would expect me to be in a professional service industry, as my background is heavily on that. But I think I chose shoes because it was a passion project, actually. You know, I was a consumer and a buyer of a lot of, you know, luxurious brands, you know, across the world. And end of 2015, I looked at, you know, the available collection that I had. You know, I used to buy a lot of shoes, and there's a saying that says, if you're buying too much of something, then why not own it, you know? So end of 2015, I had this available collection of sneakers, you know, but something was really missing there. You know, a footwear brand that, you know, Africans can proudly affiliate with, that can resonate me with as a young African man, you know, and I decided to start that brand.
And you can see the success in it because you've started here, you've got your product launch in UAE,
Yeah.
but that's not where your journey has ended. You've made a whole round trip, Singapore, UK,
Yeah.
so you're clearly expanding. What's the challenge in expanding that in different markets that's not familiar to you?
You know, I always say this, that obviously, you know, the success of our business was through the support of the people of our country in South Africa, because it's a story and it's a feel-good story that a lot of South Africans affiliate with, right? But when you move outside the borders of South Africa and go to different regions, you know, their go-to-market strategy is different because the retail dynamics, they are different, you know, the consumers, they are different. And I think the challenge is really marrying your brand promise, you know, and trying to localize it in those regions. You know, it's always a very difficult part, and that is why for us it's very important to partner with the right people, the right partners in different regions that are going to make sure that we tailor-make our value proposition for that region.
Tell me about the funding, the backing you had. How did you go about getting that funding? Was it self-funded?
Yes, actually, you know, it's quite an interesting story because I'm an accountant by profession. I think I had an opportunity to work in an M&A, you know, a business unit, the mergers and acquisition business unit at PwC. And, you know, I found myself during due diligence of a certain project that, you know, I thought hit me, that I've actually never seen a balance sheet that is 100% equity. It's always diluted in the form of debt or equity, you know, and I thought, you know, is it really possible to really build a business with 100% equity? And since I haven't seen that kind of a balance sheet, I decided to, you know, challenge myself and start a business, you know, and with an aim to achieve that balance sheet. So I took my savings, you know, worked for 5 years for PwC, took my savings, deployed them into the business as seed capital, and, you know, we built it from there by reinvesting our proceeds into different avenues. And ever since then, we haven't actually received any form of funding, either private or public equity, or from venture or private equities. You know, it's always been from that, you know, savings that I had at the time, redeploying it into the business as seed capital and building from then.
Now, fast forward, you moved from launching the business.
Yes.
You are listed under Forbes Under 30.
Yeah.
Now, last year you received the award at All Africa Business Leaders for Young Business Leader of the Year. Since then, what has changed?
A whole lot has changed, and I think with the two recognitions that you just mentioned that are more of like a pan-Africa, recognition has actually helped grow our brand equity in the continent, and across other regions in the world. Because what has happened is that we've actually seen our brand equity growing so much. I mean, just last year we were also mentioned on the top 100 most admired African brands, and it's a study that is conducted by Brands Africa across 28 different African countries, which constitutes about 80% of African consumers. And to make it to that list means that our brand equity is well recognized, and our brand is well received in different countries across the continent. And I think it couldn't have been possible without the support of our people and this kind of recognitions that are pan-Africa recognitions that helped us grow our brand. And we've grown immensely because we've seen post those recognitions, we've seen our brand being able to export and and then growth within the country. We've got an appetite in West and East Africa through B2B transactions and through different corporates that has supported us in those regions. We are very strong in SADC as well. So we've seen the brand growing strongly across the continent.
You've now launched a new range.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
So, our vision says we want to build a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with. A brand that really embodies Africa and the heritage. We all know that Africa is a very rich country. We've got so much diversity, heritage and culture. And our belief and our value proposition is that, and we want to encourage others to do the same, that it's about time that as Africans we incorporate the diversity, the culture, the heritage, into product and services. We incorporate that into value chains, into ecosystems, that we can export to the rest of the world, and really own our identity and say, this is who we are, and then this is what we do. It doesn't matter what sector you're in. I'm in retail, and I decided to do that in retail because in footwear. So we launched a range called Khalanga, which is my clan name, and then it's a very beautiful story because even the clan is not a clan from South Africa, but it comes just up north of the continent, coming right through Namibia to Zimbabwe to South Africa, and it really talks about the strong unity of Africa, right? So we decided to do a range that celebrates that, that says this is who you are, and it says, our tagline says it's who you are, and then we really want to inspire others, whether you are in ICT, whether you're in logistics, whether you're in product or service, you can really embody your identity and incorporate it into your value chain and tell the story to the world and own it, and don't shy away from who you are.
If you have to leave one thought to budding entrepreneurs looking at this right now, saying, yes, times are tough, it's more difficult to get or to become an entrepreneur, funding is tighter, the market's a little bit more squeezed out, what departing words would you leave?
I would say that they should always stay the course and continue punching above the wave even when the economy is unfavorable. And I think the most important thing that we tend to undermine is small beginnings, because oftentimes we treat our businesses based on the size on their size and where we are as a people, right? But never do that. Always treat your business as a business and corporatize your business and really make sure that you reinvest in your business, because oftentimes as a budding entrepreneur, an emerging brand, you tend to take some of your proceeds and use them on your personal expenses and so forth. But I would really encourage for all the entrepreneurs to really corporatize their business as soon as they can, because what often happens is that if you don't really corporatize your business and treat it like a business with only 2 people employed, right, you won't be able to treat it right, or you're going to have challenges when you go through a growth stage. You're going to have people challenges, you're going to have so many challenges in terms of process and policies. But if from inception, you corporatize your business, you make sure that you treat it like a business and you build from then, you're going to have a very great, smooth growth curve, in growing your business.
Now, you've said it a few times, you invest back into the business. With times being this tough, do you see yourself diversifying some of the tasks to plan your strengths and to get somebody else to take over where you can't focus on?
Yeah, one thing that I'm really grateful for in my journey and our business is that we've got an incredible team. And a big shout out to the good people at Bathu. We've got an amazing team of young professionals, well-experienced professionals across sector. And I say, and again, because we've corporatized the business, one thing that I've done is that I've led certain business units in the business run by professionals. Human capital is a very integral part of a business. I'm an accountant, and I'm a businessman. I know nothing about human capital, from recruitment policies and running a functional business, right? So I led that function to the right person with the right skill set. So across all our business units, we've got professionals well experienced that are running different business units in the business, and I can focus on my role, which is strategy and growth as the group CEO of the entity. And I've done that very well. And if it wasn't for our team at Bathu, I don't think we would have been the business that we are today.
Who inspires you?
Sure, I think I'm inspired by a number of people. I'm inspired by the story of discovery. I think from how they really live their value proposition. It's not a PR story. I think what Adrian Go has done with the team, their discovery and how innovative they are, it's really, really amazing. And you look at South African businesses like your Nando's and really sticking to the value proposition. I'm really inspired by, and many others, I think I can mention quite a lot, but those are the ones that come top at mind. But I think I'm inspired by Africans, that have really built great businesses, that live their value propositions, and it's not for PR or anything, but it's really authentically living a proposition and creating impact through their proposition. For me, that's a great source of inspiration.
Now, other than the new launch,
yeah,
what's next?
Next is the world. We want to build, again, value proposition. We want our value proposition, and our vision says that we want to build a shoe brand that Africans can partly affiliate with. Our next step is actually going to the globe in different regions and living that value proposition, irrespective of where we come from. We want someone coming from, Amsterdam, someone from France, New York, look at our brand and say, I like that brand because of their products, because of their brand values, their brand promise, and it resonates me as an individual, as a person. Irrespective of where they come from, I'm going to go and support that brand and collectively make sure that, we create impact, and through my support, to what they're offering, And I think that's what thing that we want to do. I think for the longest of time, we've always been this brand that talks about the emotive side of our brand, right? The impact, the job creation, but we've never actually really spoken about the value proposition, the functional part of our business, and that's the next play.
Which other African countries are you eyeing to expand? Because now you're in UAE,
yeah.
You've got Singapore, you've got UK. We're in Africa.
So we are very strong in SADC and strong from omni-channel. We see a lot of year-on-year growth in SADC, West and East Africa as well. So that will be our next play, and then obviously through the right partners in those regions. Yeah.
Theo, we have run out of time, but I do want to thank you for coming in and walk us
yeah.
through your entire journey and what we can look forward to.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That was South African entrepreneur, founder and Chief Executive Officer of Bathu Shoes, Theo Baloyi. And from me, it's goodbye.